Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to our vocational preparation lesson for today. We're continuing our unit on career awareness and readiness. And this week, we're going to discuss working in a restaurant. That is our topic for today. So the last 2 weeks rather, we've been talking about working in a grocery store. Today, we're transitioning to a different work environment that high schoolers and people who have just graduated often work in, and that's a restaurant, a place where people go to eat. So some basic work vocabulary: employer, the person or company that you work for, in this case, the restaurant. An employee, a person who has a job and works at a given location, or restaurant in this case. The schedule is just the days and hours that you are set to arrive at work. And your hourly wage is the amount of money that you make each hour, okay? So these are entry-level minimum wage jobs. All right, so when we go to a restaurant, whether it's a sit-down restaurant or a fast food restaurant, often there is a cashier. A cashier is someone whose job it is to ring up or find the total cost of a customer's meal purchase. Cashiers handle the cash and debit or credit card transactions of a restaurant, and they provide change if necessary. Most of the time, you'll only get change back if you are doing a cash transaction, but sometimes you might request extra money when you do your debit or credit card transaction in order to tip someone, okay? So a cashier handles those things with a cash register. So here's a picture of a cashier working in a fast food restaurant. They are often the very front of the house or the restaurant, and so you're the first person that your customers are gonna see. So it's good to have good interpersonal skills, to be dressed appropriately, to be smiling and ready to greet customers, and other things like that. So let's talk about what it takes to be a cashier at a restaurant. Some cashier requirements include the need to be able to handle and organize money in the cash register and to be able to provide change for customers. So you need to be able to take money to help run debit or credit card transactions by having the customer swipe or insert the chip for their credit or debit card. And you need to be able to give change back. So if a customer's total is $12.50 and they give you $13, you need to provide them with the correct change, which in this case would be 50 cents. How you do that, you can do that in a few ways, and we're going to talk about bill combinations in the next coming weeks. So we'll help you out with those skills, okay? A cashier needs to be able to handle coupons and make sure they are still valid. So a lot of times, especially for fast food restaurants and even at some sit-down restaurants, there's going to be coupons so that customers can get discounts on food. And so it's up to you to scan the coupon, but also check the coupon's expiration date to make sure it's still good for use. If it's past the expiration date, then you'll have to give it back to the customer and tell them that you can't take it, unfortunately, because it's no longer viable. As a cashier, you need to know the restaurant menu completely in order to charge the right cost. So a lot of times the customers are going to be telling you their order pretty quickly. So knowing the menu helps you find the correct item faster and make sure you are charging the customer the correct amount, because we don't want to undercharge them or charge them less, and we definitely don't want to overcharge them or charge them more. Because when you charge them less, the restaurant is losing money. When you charge them more, you're going to have an upset customer because now they're being charged for things that they did not buy or want. And of course, like I said, you're the front of the house. You need to have good customer service skills, which is talking to customers in a friendly and professional manner. The other job we're going to talk about today is the job of waiter or waitress. So a waiter or waitress is someone whose job it is to take a customer's food order, bring out their food once it's ready, and make sure the customer has a pleasant and comfortable eating experience. This includes making sure they have enough of their beverage, so refilling drinks, exchanging food when necessary. So if a customer does not like the food that they ordered, perhaps it's not warm enough, or maybe it's overcooked or too salty, they'll ask the waiter or waitress to take it back and to redo the order or get them something different. You also make sure that you provide them with condiments such as ranch, ketchup, different things that go on the foods that they order, napkins, and other things of that manner. So as you can see in this picture, the waiter, the gentleman, and the waitress, the woman, are both handing out food items to the customers, making sure that they got their correct order. And then in this picture, you can see that the waitress, the woman standing with the apron, is taking the customer's order and making sure that they have the right foods. Okay? So what does it take to be a waiter or waitress at a restaurant? Well, for one, you need to be able to handle hot plates and heavy trays to bring customers their food to and from the kitchen. So you really have to be good at balancing, making sure that you don't spill their drinks or that you don't mess up their plate and mix things together. Just like a cashier at a restaurant, you need to know the restaurant menu completely to take a customer's order. You also need to have clear writing when taking a customer's order, because once you take their order, you are going to take it to the kitchen, and the cooks and chefs in the kitchen need to be able to read your writing to tell what to make, especially if the customer has certain restrictions or has a customized order, something special, or they want their order made a certain way. As a waiter or waitress, you need to make sure to check on the customers throughout the meal. Like I said, you need to make sure that they have enough of their drinks. You need to make sure that they have enough napkins, forks, etc. So just stopping by their table every 10 minutes is a pretty good benchmark. Every 10 to 15 minutes, depending on what kind of restaurant it is. Just to make sure, are you doing okay? How's everything tasting? Things like that. And last but not least, you need to have good customer service skills. You need to be able to talk to your customers in a friendly and professional manner. Sometimes when people are ordering food, they are not the kindest. And so you need to be able to put that aside and maintain a professional demeanor. Okay? So just say like, all right, sir or ma'am, what can I get for you tonight? What would you like me to get started? All right, so even if they're not the kindest, we brush that off and we just focus on making sure we get their order correct and making sure they have a positive experience. So you have to be able to self-regulate and to be a positive and caring individual, even when people can be mean. Part of the reason why you want to be caring and attentive is that people are going to tip you after the meal. So in order to earn a better tip, which is extra money based on how well you provide your service, you want to make sure that you are super kind and attentive so that you get more money, okay? So these are just a few of the requirements and info for the positions of cashier at a restaurant and waiter or waitress at a restaurant. We'll talk more about these positions today in class, and we'll go over some examples of how to complete these jobs and what other requirements are involved. Take care, and I will see you in class.